we have a survey committee. The survey committee takes samples of the soil from all over the world, and we have agricultural centers. They bring the soil there and they examine it. And the agronomist, the scientific agriculture, says, by the contents of this soil, it's best to grow beets for 3 years, then rotate to sugar cane. That's not an opinion, that's a finding. No opinions anymore. See? So that's how we arrive at decisions. We don't make them. So somebody said to me, yeah, but what if a guy wants to build a swept forward wing and another guy swept back? Who decides? He was angry. So I said, we build swept forward, swept back, because we don't have to worry about it. How much will it cost? Do we have the resources? They always look at this city and say, how much will it cost to build? Do we have the resources? Yes, we do. More than enough resources. So that's not how much will it cost. That's the old question in a money system. Do you understand that answer?
Yes.
Who makes the decisions? Okay. Now, somebody said to me, what if a guy wants to take more than what is allowable? First of all, people don't move into these new cities. They go to an orientation center first. Don't let that scare you. Let me tell you what it means. It describes how the city works, where you can access food, where you can pick up information in the area. It's just like if you want to fly an airplane, they don't put you in an airplane. They put you in a unit and you move the controls first, just to get the feel of it. Then when they bring you over to an airplane, they say the first thing you check is the tires. And you check the air pressure and you check the movement of the control, make sure they all work. And then you sit in that plane for a little while, get familiar with the instrument. You can't move normal, means fucked up, people into this city and expect to have a decent world. You can't. Or any more than you can become an engineer without going through a specialized environment called the university. The university is an environment that specializes in how to be an engineer, an architect, or whatever. So we want to change the global environment and make a global university. All cities will be universities. You don't have to have money. You can go to any school you want to, take up any subject you want to. And no decisions are made by people. People tried communism, they screwed up. They tried socialism, screwed up. Free enterprise, corrupt. France, England, all corrupt. So I want to move people out of government, including myself. Okay, so you understand that. The second picture up there is the government of the future. That globe with the image screens all around it.
Right there.
It's a computerized government. Here's how it works. If you don't understand this, interrupt me. If you don't interrupt me, it's your fault. Don't accept a word I say. Okay. Now, one of those units that you see around the globe is a computer that is responsible for agriculture in a given area. I'll tell you what that means. The computer has its electrical tentacles into the soil. So if the water table drops, that pumps water out there. You don't have a guy with a bucket of water. And all the nutrients in the soil are measured electronically. If they diminish, it pumps nutrients out there. You don't need a guy with a telephone. 50 years ago, that was great. Department of Agriculture. Today, you can automate that. Just as you get cigarettes and Coke from machines, you can automate all department stores. I don't want a young girl standing behind the counter. What can I do for you, ma'am? 15 years, the best years of her life, selling cosmetics. Is that using her head? Is that using education? No. That's abuse of human beings. This system and all other governments are abusive. That's a very hard thing to sell without people coming here. They can't pick it up from my books or videotapes alone. That's why you will be asked who makes the decisions. Fresco? No. He has nothing to do with it. Now, why does a city look like this? Some architects don't like this city. Let me explain it to you. Then you tell me how it ought to look. This has to do with public health. If you work, public health is nutrition, surgery, everything. And if you work here, you live here, you don't have to drive to work. This has to do with agriculture. Everything related to food. If you work here, you live here. Here there are plants that cover so you can't see another building. You understand? You live in gardens with lakes and all that. It's the shortest distance to work. But if you build suburbia, where you've got houses all over the place, you have to drive that way, take your kids to school, that way for shopping, that way for medical treatment. What a waste of energy. This makes it convenient for every human being. This is the shopping center. You got to look at these pictures. This has school care, dental care, medical care, schools. Everything these people need is available here. You understand that? Okay. There are no cars in the city. There's a circular transport called a transveyor. That transveyor can move up, down, sideways, any direction. You get in and dial it. There's a place in New York called Radio City. Does that mean anything to you? The Empire State Building?
Yes.
All right. They take 1 million people up and down every year. 1 million. And they never crash, the elevators. So all you do is turn the elevators out that way through the city. You get in and dial where you want to go. You guys didn't see this. He may have. In the old days, people used to operate elevators. They move a crank. They never quite got to the floor. They had to work it up and back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you? Now you press 17, goes to 17th floor. If you go to any modern airport today, there's a train without people in it that operates it. No conductors, nobody. It stops exactly there. And you can't fall on the tracks. In New York you can be shoved right onto the tracks. They say, we don't know whether he jumped or was pushed. They need a wall, just like an elevator. You can't look down and see if the elevator's coming. They got a wall there that doesn't open until the elevator's there. That's the way the airport works. I talked about that 65 years ago in New York, couldn't get any action. Nothing. To build a wall so you don't fall on the track. Nothing I talked about was against anybody. I didn't want to kill anybody, hurt anybody, put anybody in jail. There are no prisons, no police, no armies, no navies in the system. Because people have access to whatever the hell they need. You can go to the watch center and check out a watch, any kind you like, free, without payment or obligation. I said, well, where are you going to get the money to give out all that stuff? It costs $50,000 to keep a kid in jail a year. You know any watches I will buy? It's cheaper to give a watch. Give them blue jeans, whatever the hell they need. The stupidity of this culture is unbelievable. Okay? I'm talking about the United States and all other societies. I'm not holding it. None of them are any good. Communism, social, don't know what to do. If you put them in power, Ralph Nader's a nice guy, but he doesn't know what to do. He really doesn't. I talked to him. So what do you do? How would you solve that? Nothing. He said, well, at least we are ethical. I don't doubt that. If you had ethical people in government, if you ran out of resources, it'd be lying, cheating, stealing.